Hello everybody. I'm Jasbir Singh, the Managing Director of Seclore here in Europe, and today our guest is Mr. Martin Rittmeister, who is the Head of Global IT Application Services at Linde Engineering. Hello Martin, and welcome. Thanks for joining us during our 2020. To start off with, could you tell us a bit of what does Linde Engineering do?
Sure, Mr. Singh, I'm happy to do that. I think it's always good that the other interested parties know a little bit about our context so they can better evaluate if this is a solution they might also use in their context. So let me give you a brief overview on what Linde Engineering as such can do. I'm sharing my screen now. I hope you can see it.
Yeah, excellent.
We're a company of about 7,500 engineers or working in engineering, what you would call an EPC company. So we do engineering, procurement, and construction for very large chemical plants, air separation plants, gas cracking plants, etc. And we're part of the Linde PLC enterprise with about 90,000 people. So our even bigger sister is one of our best customers here. However, we also sell to third party in over 100 companies, and we have already finished about 4,600 plants that help the world to produce air gases, polyethylene, things like that. It's kind of unique setup what we're doing because we have our big sister that operates the plant and we engineer it, so we can also learn a lot from each other and improve that, especially also for our third-party customers.
Hey, that's really interesting. What was Linde doing? How did you protect your data before you started using Seclore's data-centric solution?
Oh, yeah, that's a tricky question. We were trying our best. Of course, we were using those typical Microsoft possibilities that you have with folder access level. We were looking into network security, but it is more or less to protect yourself against someone intruding into your world, but not so much about really protecting the content as such. So that's why we were looking for a different solution on that gives us this extra level of security here. So if I just continue here to see, security and safety are just intrinsic things at Linde Engineering. I mean, the plants we build are dangerous. They have quite some explosive character sometimes. So we are very aware of that. And the same is with security as far as our data is concerned. We use a lot of different aspects or fields where we think is a good use for us to put this extra level of security on top. So one of the first ones we started with is the strategy documents. Strategy is always very confidential unless it is made public. And so up until this D-Day, we really have to make sure it does not go elsewhere before the managers really decided that this is now official document. We also have, of course, as a big company, a lot of health records about our internal employees, if we're allowed to send them on construction sites, etc. And this is, of course, already an aspect where the new GDPR rules have to be applied to absolutely make sure that this is not seen by anyone else but the people that are affected by it. So GDPR, what you see here also is one of our later developments. We're just about to launch where it goes about visa applications. Depending on the country you want to go, sometimes you even have to tell them how much money you earn, and that, again, very confidential stuff. We have to make sure that this stays with only a few eyes. And we have a whole set of things around the financials, cost calculations, when we bring out proposals to our customers. This is actually when data also leaves the company, and we want to make sure that even within the party where we distribute this data to, it cannot be distributed further that easily. So
Right.
that's where we can put the documents on the leash, we would say, and always take them back in case we have the feeling that now the bid is over or something. And as any other technical company, we have, of course, a lot of intellectual property documents that are the inner core of our business, that tell us how gas substances mix in each other and how heat exchangers are built. So what really is the core knowledge of Linde is kept also very, very secret on top of the folder level security that Microsoft can offer.
Hey, that's really interesting, but that's a large, quite a broad set of use cases. So which technologies from Seclore are you actually implementing to help you in these different use cases?
Yeah, I would say we started very classic, like probably most of your clients did. We took this fat client approach with the policy server and a certain amount of authorized administrators that were allowed to apply all these rules. But what we particularly liked was also the idea with these hot folders that we could automate this process. Because in many cases it's the same group of people that has that access. And by just dipping it in like a Dorito chip in a sauce, dipping it in and having it secure afterwards, of course, saves a lot of time for us. Sure. And just what we use very much now with these new times where we work a lot with external partners also, sometimes we have to onboard them to our systems. And one of the critical aspects is how do we transmit the password for them? And a normal email would not be a good idea. And these complex passwords today over the telephone is also not very handy. So here the mail plugin gives us a very easy and good way to also show to the external partners that we take this really serious. And the latest one we're working on and working with now is this SharePoint integration, which is part of our Visa application, which has been built on SharePoint. And thanks to that, it's now possible that the applicants can provide all their confidential and personal information on a very secure way. So yeah, I would think that's from what I know we're using. I know you have a lot of more things in your portfolio, and we'll need to see where else the journey will bring us.
Hey, that's really interesting. So it sounds like you're using Seclore to help you stop having to always chase, data and to protect data, that you're confident that the data you're sharing internally and externally that you've already protected. So I think actually that was very interesting. So the last question I would have basically is, rights management is not simple. Rights management has had a lot of hurdles for acceptance. Seclore has tried with automation and making it easier to use, both from admin and from user, to make that hurdle lower. What was the biggest challenges that you, as a manager in a large company, faced, to get to where you are now? I'm sure there are lots of different obstacles put up in your way.
Yeah, there are indeed some obstacles, and definitely the technology of Seclore helped a lot on that, because it is, I would say, state of the art. We could really advertise it is safer than anything else. But in the heads, the people have to accept that an extra level of security is an extra effort for them. It's like a second lock on the door is not very secure if it has the same key. So you have to make sure that your organization understands the need for such a system, and you have always the top level support for that, but still you try to go with the end users and try to idealistically explain to them why this is necessary. And thank God we have good departments that saw the need for protection, for extra protection, and they jumped on the system since about 7 years now, and we have, I think, about 100,000 documents that have been protected with it, which makes me sleep a little better.
I'm sure it is, Martin. I think it's been very useful talking to you, and I'm glad we talked about, the external usage, hopefully the ease of usage as being reasons. But I guess the biggest thing is if you're going to go for security, you need to probably have something that's going to give you true security that you can sleep better. Martin, thank you very, very much for this wonderful opportunity to talk to you. Thank you.
You're welcome.